organizer and I had a little more capacity, I've always been a type A workaholic type individual. I took a part-time job with a vegetable slash produce farm in the southern Columbus region, and they were an organic operation.
Nice.
And I really, really wanted to kind of get more experience in that because I'm much more of a hobbyist when it comes to farming. I've had
Yeah.
some different farmhand jobs growing up, and I did grow up in a very, very rural part of the state, which is much more livestock oriented. But I
Mm.
figured that if I'm going to be working this farm to power job and chatting with a lot of farmers, I should get some more experience to better learn how to walk the walk. So that's kind of my background with organic farming. That's my background with coming up with farm to power.
Wonderful. Please tell us a little bit more about your time with the organic vegetable farm. Like what were you growing?
Yeah. So I learned about them through an Ohio Ecological Food and Farm Association tour. That's the hat I'm wearing, or OFA,
Oh,
OEFFA.
okay.
They do a bunch of like summer tours that are open to the public, just to get people engaged with different, farming operations. So as I was starting with Farm to Power, I was just trying to build up my connections throughout the state. So I attended one of these OFA farm tours at this farm that I ultimately worked at, which was called Three Creeks Produce. And I would say pretty quickly on into the farm tour, the owner operators that were leading the tour had said something like, "Yeah, we're a farm. We have a lot of part-time work come in and out. That's just kind of the nature of our work. We can't pay too much, so a lot of our employees are more of the part-time basis.
Mm.
But yeah, we're always looking for help." And I immediately in my head I was like, these seem like really nice people, and this is like a 20-minute drive from where I live. Like, I'm gonna ask them at the end of
Mm.
this. So sure enough, at the end of that tour, I asked them like, "Are you looking for part-time help? Like, here's my credentials. I promise you I'm one of the more competent people you're ever going to hire." And yeah, like I did an interview, I think like that day or something like that. And then they brought me in just for a test day of work within a week or two, just to kind of see how well I fit into the operation with their crew. And yeah, they quickly hired me on. And the name of that farm is Three Creeks Produce. They're out of
Mm.
Groveport, Ohio area. And yeah, they're just an organic based vegetable farm. They grow at least like 15 to 20 plus varieties of different foods.
Wow.
I would say their big product that they really grow the most of and market quite a bit of is their curly kale. Like
Oh,
yeah, so for example, like every single day, you have a pretty diverse range of activities, especially depending on the time of year, but pretty much every single day, the entire staff is spending their first hour or so going out into several of the curly kale rows and boxing up like anywhere from 15 to 16 boxes of kale,
wow.
upwards of like 50 pounds a day.
Wow.
And that gets processed and ultimately shipped out, but they really do move quite a bit of curly kale.
And
And I don't want to
they
speak
were
out of,
hand harvesting?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I remember, yeah, you would count out the number of rubber bands and kind of like put them on three fingers, and you'd kind of guesstimate